The battlefield was quiet after the storm. Smoke drifted across the ruined valley, carrying the smell of fire and broken metal. Among the shattered machines and fallen warriors, an alien woman sat on the ground, her body trembling. Her silver skin was marked with cuts and bruises, her ceremonial dress torn and stained with blood. Around her, the bodies of her guards lay still. She was alone until the sound of human boots echoed through the dust. She lifted her head slowly, her pale eyes widening as she saw him. A human soldier stood only a few steps away, his uniform covered with dirt, his face hardened by war but softened by compassion. In his hand, he carried no weapon, only a simple gesture of peace as he knelt before her. The alien woman's heart pounded in her chest. Her people had always told her to fear humans. They were dangerous, unpredictable, too fierce to be trusted. Her teachers had whispered warnings since childhood. If a human touches you, you will never be the same. Those words echoed now as she looked at the man before her. The soldier reached out his hand, slow and steady, offering help. His voice was low, calm, and gentle. "You're hurt. Let me help you." Her breath caught. Fear surged through her veins. She wanted to move back, to push him away, to hide from the warmth she saw in his eyes. Her lips trembled as she whispered, almost too softly to hear, "Don't touch me, human." The soldier froze. His hand stopped just short of hers. He did not push, did not force. Instead, he nodded slowly, as if he understood her fear. He began to pull his hand back. But then, something unexpected happened. Her own fingers moved on, their own. Weak, trembling, covered in blood and dust. They reached forward. She caught his hand before it left. Her grip was fragile, almost invisible, but it was there, and she did not let go. The soldier's eyes widened in surprise, but he did not speak. He only stayed still, letting her hold on as long as she wished. The alien woman's thoughts raced. Why did she do that? Why had her body betrayed her words? She told him not to touch her, and yet she clung to him. Fear told her to let go, but her heart whispered something different. Deep inside, she felt something she had never felt before. Safety. All around them, the battlefield groaned with silence. Smoke curled into the fading light. The wind carried the distant cries of the dying. Yet here, in this small moment, there was only her and the human. Her lips trembled again. She wanted to speak, to explain why she couldn't let go, but no words came. All her life she had been told that humans were monsters, but as she looked into his eyes, she saw no monster. She saw determination. She saw pain. She saw strength that was not cruel but protective. Her people would never understand this. If they saw her now holding the hand of a human, they would call her a traitor. They would say she had broken her bloodline, her duty, her honor. But as her fingers clung tighter, she realized something terrifying. She didn't care. The soldier shifted slightly, his voice softer this time. "You don't have to fear me." Her heart ached. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to believe there could be truth in his words. But the chains of her culture still pulled at her mind. Don't touch him. Don't trust him. Don't love him. And yet, her hand still refused to let go. The smoke thinned, and the sun broke through the clouds, bathing the two in pale golden light. To anyone else, it would look like an impossible scene. An alien woman, wounded and afraid, holding on to a human soldier as if he was the only anchor left in her broken world. And maybe he was. Her whisper had said no, but her touch had spoken the truth. Her body betrayed her fear, revealing the hidden longing she never admitted even to herself. She did not want to be alone anymore. She did not want to be a prisoner of her people's lies. The soldier looked down at her hand, on his, then back into her eyes. He did not smile, he did not speak again, but his silence carried a promise. He would not abandon her. Not now. Not ever. She shivered as another thought struck her. If her people discovered this moment, they would destroy him. They would destroy her. The law was clear. No alien bride could ever choose a human. But here on this battlefield of ashes, the law felt weak compared to the truth she felt in her heart. Her voice broke the silence again, softer this time, trembling with both fear and hope. Why don't you leave me? The soldier's answer was simple, almost too simple. Because you're holding on. Her eyes filled with tears. She wanted to look away, but she couldn't. The battlefield faded around her. For the first time in her life, the world felt quiet. For the first time, she felt seen. And for the first time, she dared to believe that maybe, just maybe, her fate could change. The woman's hand still clung to the human's, even though her whisper had begged him not to touch. Her heart pounded faster than ever, as if each beat carried both fear and hope. She wanted to pull back, to return to silence, to obey what her people had always told her. Yet her body betrayed her. Fingers, trembling but refusing to release him. The battlefield around them lay quiet, but inside her mind, chaos raged. She remembered the warnings drilled into her since childhood. Humans are predators. They are liars. They only take, never give. If they touch you, they will break you. Her teachers had repeated these words until she believed them as truth. Her elders had said it with certainty. And yet, this human did not feel like a predator. His presence did not feel like a trap. Still, fear whispered in her chest. What if it was all a trick? What if the moment she trusted him, he would destroy her? Her lips parted, her voice weak but trembling with conflict. Why? Why do you not fear me? My people would kill you for even standing here. The human held her gaze, his hand steady beneath hers. Because fear builds nothing, he answered quietly. I did not come to chain you. I came to lift you. His words pierced through her like a blade and yet healed like a balm. She could not understand it. Every instinct screamed to pull away, yet her grip only grew tighter. She felt the warmth of his hand, something her people never gave. They gave her duty. They gave her chains, but never warmth. She glanced around at the ruins. Her guards, once proud and cruel, were gone. The empire she served was not here to watch her now, and yet she felt their voices in her mind demanding she let go. You are a disgrace if you trust him. You will lose your honor if you stay near him. You will bring shame upon your bloodline. She squeezed her eyes shut, a tear slipping down her cheek. For so long she had been taught to obey those voices. But the human's silence was louder. He did not push her, did not demand her choice. He simply stayed, waiting, patient, as if her decision was her own and not his. Her voice cracked again. If they see this, if they see me touch you, they will call me traitor. The human leaned closer, his eyes calm but filled with fire. Then let them. Better to be a traitor to chains than a prisoner forever. Her breath caught. She had never heard such words before. Her people always glorified loyalty, obedience, sacrifice. But this human spoke of something dangerous, something forbidden, freedom. The fear inside her twisted painfully. Freedom was not meant for her. Freedom was a dream told in secret stories, never lived. Could she dare to want it? Could she dare to believe him? Her hand shook, almost pulling away. The human felt it, but still he did not stop her. His grip remained gentle, never forcing, never tightening. You can let go if you want, he said softly. But if you hold on, I promise, I will never let harm reach you. Her tears fell freely now. She had been told humans only promised lies, but there was no deceit in his voice. There was no greed in his eyes. There was only truth, a truth she wanted desperately to believe. She lowered her head, whispering so quietly he almost couldn't hear. I am afraid. His reply was simple. So am I. Her eyes lifted, shocked by his honesty. He was afraid too? She thought humans never admitted fear, that they only hid behind arrogance. But he spoke it openly, without shame. And somehow, that made his courage stronger. She realized then, courage was not the absence of fear. Courage was choosing to stay, even when fear burned inside. Her fear still screamed. It told her she was wrong. It told her to pull back. But another voice whispered now, deep inside, a voice she had buried long ago, a voice of her own. What if he is not like they say? What if everything you were told was a lie? What if freedom is real, and it begins with this hand you will not release? The silence between them grew heavy, almost sacred. The battlefield was forgotten. Time seemed to stop. She looked at him one last time, her heart trembling, and realized the truth. She was more afraid of letting go than of holding on. Her grip tightened. The human did not smile, but his eyes softened with understanding. Then hold on, he said, even if the world tells you not to. Her people had filled her with fear, but in this single moment, she felt something stronger rising. She felt the seed of defiance, a dangerous, fragile spark, but real, and so though her words whispered, "Don't touch me," her soul spoke louder. She held on, and she knew this was only the beginning. The battlefield's silence began to shift as shadows moved among the smoke. Other aliens arrived, leaders, soldiers, nobles, watching with sharp eyes as the scene unfolded. Their whispers filled the air, mocking, disbelieving. An alien bride, wounded and trembling, still clung to the hand of a human. To them, it was shameful, humiliating, even dangerous. The woman felt their eyes burning into her. Her stomach twisted in fear. If she let go now, they might forgive her weakness. But if she held on, they would brand her a traitor forever. The weight of her people's judgment pressed on her like a mountain. One of the nobles sneered loudly, his voice cutting through the smoke. "Look at her. Even broken, she disgraces her blood. Touching a human, does she not know what she has done?" Another laughed, cruel and sharp. "The human tricks her. They are liars. They are thieves. She will regret this." The woman's hand shook. She wanted to let go, but her fingers refused. Her body clung tighter, betraying her fear. Her lips parted in shame, but before she could speak, the human answered, not with anger, but with calm defiance. "She does not disgrace herself," he said, his voice steady, carrying farther than any shout. "She shows courage, more than all of you combined." The crowd hissed. Some laughed, others growled, but all of them were stunned. Humans were not meant to speak this way. Humans were supposed to bow, to obey, to fear, yet this one stood tall, his words like steel. The groom chosen for her stepped forward, his armor gleaming, his pride unshaken. His eyes burned with rage as he looked down at the woman. "Release him at once," he commanded. "You belong to me. You were promised to me." The woman flinched. The word belong cut through her chest like a blade. She had heard it before. She had lived her whole life under it. But now it felt heavier, darker. Her grip trembled. The human turned to face the groom, his expression calm, unafraid. "She belongs to no one," he said softly, but with a weight that silenced even the nobles. "Not to you, not to your traditions, not even to me. She belongs to herself. And she has already chosen." The hall of whispers fell quiet. The woman's heart stopped. "She has already chosen?" The words sank into her like fire. Was it true? Had her choice been made the moment she held on? The groom snarled, fury dripping from his voice. "You dare speak of choice? She is silent. She has not spoken. She does not choose you. She cannot." The human stepped closer, his eyes never leaving the groom's. "She has spoken. Not with words, but with her hand. Look at her. Even now she will not let go." The woman felt the crowd's eyes fall on her. Her fingers were trembling, her fear screaming, but her grip only tightened. Tears filled her eyes as she realized the truth. Her silence was no longer weakness. It was louder than any shout. The nobles whispered again, this time uncertain. "She clings to him still, even with us watching. Is it weakness? Or is it something more?" The human's voice rose again, calm but firm. You call it weakness, but you do not understand. This, he lifted her trembling hand gently, so all could see. This is strength. She has been taught to fear me, to hate me, to never touch me. Yet still she holds on. Tell me, what power do your chains have if even fear cannot make her let go? The groom's pride shattered under those words. He lunged forward, his voice booming. Enough! She is mine by law, by blood, by duty. But the human did not step back. His eyes burned brighter, though his voice remained calm. No, she is not yours. She never was. You only chained her. And chains break? The woman gasped as her heart thundered. His words cracked something inside her, something she thought could never break. For the first time, she imagined a life without chains, without fear, without silence. And in that moment she realized she wanted it. The crowd murmured louder now. Some were outraged, others stunned. But all were shaken. No one had ever seen a human speak this way. No one had ever seen an alien woman hold on so tightly to what she was forbidden to touch. The groom raised his hand, summoning guards. But even as they stepped forward, the woman knew something had already changed. She was still afraid, yes, but fear no longer controlled her. Her hand refused to release the human. And now, the galaxy itself was watching. And in her heart, she whispered a truth she could not yet say aloud. I will not let go. The battlefield was no longer silent. Alien soldiers surrounded the pair, their weapons glowing with energy. The nobles shouted angrily, demanding that the woman release the human's hand. To them, it was a crime, a betrayal, a stain that could never be washed away. One elder pointed at her, his voice sharp like a blade. Do you not understand what you have done? You shame your bloodline, you break the law, let him go or be cast out forever. The woman's body trembled. Her hand shook, but still it did not release the human's. Fear clawed at her chest. If she let go, perhaps her people would forgive her. If she held on, she would lose everything. Her family, her honor, her place among them. Her lips opened, but no words came. Tears blurred her vision. For a moment she wished she could simply vanish before the decision crushed her completely. The human's voice broke the chaos, calm, steady, unshaken. Do you see her? He asked the crowd. She trembles because you have filled her with fear. You do not protect her, you chain her. You call it honor, but it is only control. The nobles hissed, furious at his words. But even some of the soldiers lowered their weapons, uncertain. The woman's heart pounded faster. His words burned through her fear, exposing what she had, always known but never admitted. Her people's traditions were not strength. They were cages. Her groom stepped forward, his armor glinting in the dim light. His pride was unbroken, his fury sharp. You are mine, he said coldly, his voice echoing across the ruins. By law, by blood, by vow. Release him now. The woman's breath caught. She looked into his eyes and saw no kindness, no warmth, only possession. He did not love her. He did not even see her. To him, she was property. Her grip on the human's hand tightened. The groom's face twisted in rage. You defy me? The woman's voice trembled, but for the first time she spoke, not from fear, but from truth. I do not want you. The crowd gasped. The nobles erupted in outrage. No bride had ever spoken such words. It was unthinkable. The groom snarled, stepping closer, towering over her. You shame yourself. You shame us all. You are nothing. Without us. But the human stepped in front of her, his body a shield. His voice was calm, but his eyes burned like fire. No, she is nothing without freedom, and today she has chosen it. The woman's heart leapt. She had not realized it until now. But yes, she had chosen. Every second her hand clung to his. Every tear she shed while refusing to release him was a choice. A dangerous, powerful choice. The nobles shouted louder, some demanding her execution, others demanding the human's death. The soldiers raised their weapons again, but their hands shook. Something had changed. The image before them, a fragile bride refusing her groom, a human standing firm in her defense, was unlike anything they had ever seen. The groom's pride could not take the humiliation. He raised his weapon, pointing it directly at the human. "If she will not obey, then I will kill the one who poisons her mind." The woman gasped, terror flooding her chest. For the first time, her fear was not for herself. It was for him. Without thinking, she threw herself in front of the human, spreading her arms wide. Her voice rang out louder than ever before. "No, if you strike him, you strike me." The groom froze. The crowd went silent. Her people had always told her to obey, to bow her head, to keep silent. But now she stood tall, defiant, unyielding. She had chosen, and her choice was clear. The human placed a hand gently on her shoulder, steadying her. His voice carried through the silence, soft but powerful. "This is what you fear, isn't it? Not me. Not humanity. You fear her choice, because once one voice speaks, others will follow." The nobles exchanged uneasy glances. For the first time, doubt flickered in their eyes. If this woman could break her chains, what stopped others from doing the same? The groom's weapon trembled in his hand. His pride screamed to strike, but deep down even he saw the truth. The woman he thought he owned had already slipped from his grasp. She turned her face toward him, her voice steady now. "You cannot command me anymore. You cannot own me. My choice is mine alone." Her words cut deeper than any blade. The crowd fell into silence once more. And though her hand still shook, though her body still trembled, she knew she had crossed the line of no return. She had chosen the human, she had chosen freedom, and the galaxy would never see her the same way again. The groom's fury reached its peak. His pride could not survive this humiliation. The bride he claimed as his had stood against him, and worse. She had done it while holding the hand of a human. His voice thundered across the ruins. "If she will not obey, then she will learn through pain." He raised his weapon, aiming straight at the human. Gasps filled the air as soldiers and nobles watched, waiting for blood to be spilled. The woman's heart stopped. In that instant, she felt the full weight of her fear. But it was no longer fear for herself. It was fear for him. Her body moved, before her mind could think. She stepped in front of the human, her arms spread wide. Her voice rang out, sharp and unshaken. "No. If you strike him, you strike me." The groom froze. The crowd erupted into chaos. Some shouted for her punishment. Others whispered in disbelief. Never in the history of their people had a bride chosen to shield a human. The human placed a steady hand on her shoulder, his voice calm but powerful. "You don't need to shield me. I will shield you." But she shook her head. "No, this is my choice." Her words cut through the noise like thunder. The nobles fell into silence. Even the soldiers hesitated, unsure of what to do. For the first time, the woman's voice carried weight. For the first time, she was not silent, not broken. She was defiant. The groom's rage twisted into desperation. He pointed his weapon, again, his voice trembling with fury. "You think your choice matters? You think a human can protect you? He cannot save you from me. He cannot save you from the Empire." The human's eyes narrowed, his tone cold now. "Maybe I cannot save her alone, but I am not alone." The sky answered his words. A deep hum shook the ground as shadows darkened the horizon. Above the battlefield, enormous human warships descended through the smoke, their engines glowing like suns. Beams of light stretched across the sky, casting the ruins in a harsh white glow. The nobles gasped in horror. "Ships, human ships. How many are there?" The groom's weapon faltered as the reality struck him. Humanity had not come in weakness. Humanity had come prepared. The human's voice rose again, clear and steady. "You think you are unbreakable. You think your laws will last forever. But your empire is built on silence, and silence cannot last. Today, she has spoken. And soon, others will speak too. The woman's heart raced, his words were fire, and she felt that fire spreading inside her. For the first time, she was not ashamed of her choice. For the first time, she wanted the galaxy to hear it. She turned toward the crowd, her voice ringing with strength. I will not let go. Do you hear me? I will not let go. Her words carried farther than the ruins. The soldiers looked at one, another uncertainty flashing in their eyes. The nobles' faces paled. The groom stumbled back, unable to believe what he was seeing. The woman, once silent and chained, had become something greater, a symbol. Her choice was no longer just hers. It was a spark that could ignite rebellion. The groom roared, trying to drown her voice. You are nothing, you are weak, you are mine. But she looked him in the eyes, her grip on the human's hand unshakable. I was never yours, and I am not weak. Weakness is chains. Weakness is silence. But this... She lifted their joined, hands high for all to see. This is strength. The crowd erupted again, but it was no longer only outrage. Some voices shouted against her, but others, small, trembling, began to cheer. The sound spread, growing louder. What began as whispers turned into voices, and voices could not be silenced. The groom saw his control slipping. His face twisted in fury, but behind his rage was fear. The Empire's laws, its traditions, its chains, they were cracking. And all it had taken was one woman refusing to let go, and one human daring to stand beside her. The breaking point had come. The battlefield stood still. No one moved. No one spoke. The nobles, the soldiers, the broken groom, they all stared at the sight before them. The alien woman, once silent, once bound by duty, now stood free, her hand locked tightly with the humans. Her words still echoed in the air. I will not let go. The groom's face was pale, his pride shattered. He had tried to break her with fear. He had tried to control her with tradition. But he had lost. He could not understand it. How one fragile woman and one human soldier had undone centuries of law in a single moment. The nobles shifted uncomfortably. Some glared with hatred, others with doubt, but none could erase the truth they had witnessed. The woman had chosen, and her choice was clear. The human looked at her, his expression calm but fierce. He did not speak of victory. He did not boast. Instead, he simply asked, Are you ready? Her heart trembled. For years, she had never been ready. She had never been allowed. But now, as she looked at their joined hands, she felt something new. Strength. Not the strength of weapons, not the strength of power, but the strength of freedom. She lifted her chin, her voice steady. Yes, I am ready. The human nodded once, and then he turned to the crowd. His voice rang out across the ruins, steady and unshaken. You tell yourselves she is weak. You call her silence obedience. But today she has spoken, and her voice is stronger than your laws. You fear her choice because you know the truth. Choice is a weapon greater than your chains. The nobles fell silent. Even the soldiers lowered their weapons, some glancing at one another with unease. If she could defy them, why couldn't they? The groom staggered to his feet, desperate. You think this changes anything? You are one woman, one human. Against the Empire, you are nothing. But the woman stepped forward, her grip firm. Then let the Empire see what nothing looks like. Her words struck like lightning. The soldiers whispered, their voices trembling. She is right. She broke the chains. She chose him before us all. If she can, why can't we? The spark had been lit, and the fire could not be stopped. Above them, the human warships hovered, their engines humming like thunder. They did not fire, but they did not need to. Their presence alone was enough to shake the hearts of all who watched. The message was clear. Humanity was not weak, not silent, not broken. Humanity was a storm waiting to rise. The human looked back. At her, his voice soft now, meant only for her. This is not the end. It is the beginning. You do not walk into chains anymore. You walk into a future you chose. Her eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but of relief. For the first time, she felt alive, truly alive. She nodded, her voice firm. Then let us walk together. And so they did. Step by step they moved forward, out of the ruins, past the nobles, past the soldiers, past the broken groom. No one stopped them. No one dared. For in that moment every eye saw not weakness, but strength. Not shame, but courage. The galaxy would remember this day. The day an alien bride defied her chains. The day a human soldier stood unbroken. The day one hand refused to let go, and because of it an empire trembled. The woman whispered as they walked, her voice carrying like a promise. They told me to fear your touch, but now I fear only losing it. The human's reply was simple, but unshakable. Then you never will. The sun broke through the smoke above, casting its light across the battlefield. And in that light, the future began. Her destiny was no longer written by tradition. It was rewritten by her choice, by his defiance, by their bond, and the galaxy would never be the same again.